My name is Michael Scott and I am the Video CPA. Today we're going to be talking about taxation of bloggers, vloggers, and YouTubers, specifically on taxation of income. We're going to have several of these short videos on taxation of bloggers, vloggers, and YouTubers, and that applies to webcammers and anybody else that's making income or losing money from social media. But this first one is on income. We'll have one on expenses. We're going to have one on the hobby loss rules, and we'll probably have one on capitalization versus expense too. So welcome to this channel. We'll get into it right now. The slides you're looking at now are two disclaimers. The first one is an affiliate disclaimer that says we can possibly make some income if you'll press a link on our website or on this video and go to the merchandisers and buy something. That's a good thing for us, but we are required to disclose that we get a commission on that. The second disclaimer is an educational disclaimer saying we try our best, I try my best to make sure everything is accurate in this video, but it is possible that in some situations I may miss something. So you certainly need to go to your tax advisor and talk to him about this as well. The first question that has to be asked when we discuss this subject is the income from blogging, vlogging, and YouTubing and other social media sources like webcamming taxable? Some of us do this as a hobby. Some of us do it to make business income. But either way, the question is it taxable or not? So let's go ahead and see what the Internal Revenue Service says about income from social media sources on the next slide. The Internal Revenue Service in Internal Revenue Code Section 61A divides income. What it says is that gross income means all income from any source derived. That means that those of us that are doing social media, if we make any income from affiliate sales, product sales, advertising, GoFundMe, all of that income is going to be taxable. So you need to be aware of that. I'm sorry, my social media brothers and sisters, but that's the fact of the matter. I found in my practice as a CPA that many individuals that are starting a business don't realize that there's actually two types of tax that a small business owner needs to pay. One is the income tax if they're making money. The other is the self-employment tax. Self-employment tax is a tax on the net income of a business. And so the question is income from blogging, vlogging, and YouTubing and other social media sources subject to self-employment tax? On the next slide, we're going to define self-employment tax so that you realize what I'm talking about here, and then we'll talk about whether it's taxable for you or not. Self-employment tax is levied on the net income of a business. And when I say net income, that's your actual revenue or your gross income minus expenses. We're going to talk about expenses in another video, but the self-employment rate is 15.3% of the net income of a business. So that adds up very, very quickly. And at the end of the year, I have some clients that are brand new that come in at the end of the year and they may owe $8,000 or $9,000 and they're totally unaware of it, and it just almost hits them by surprise and almost takes them out of business. But self-employment tax is actually Social Security and Medicare for those that don't collect a W-2 from an employer. So if you're subject to self-employment tax, you're either a sole proprietor or you're a partner. Sole proprietor will file a Schedule C on their tax return, which reports their net income of the business. A partner will also report income on their tax return, but it's their net income or their share of the partnership income. Sole proprietors and partners of partnerships do not get W-2s from those entities. And so the only reason they are able to collect Social Security is by paying self-employment tax. So the self-employment tax is intended to provide a retirement income, not really enough for retirement, but some income for them from the Social Security system when they reach age 62 or full retirement age, whatever they choose to do. If you're engaging in social media activities or any other activities for that matter that produce income, you're going to have to decide whether that income is treated as hobby income or whether it's treated as business income. If it's treated as hobby income, it is taxable for income tax purposes, and there are no expenses that can reduce that hobby income. It used to be that you could reduce your hobby income by expenses, but that's no longer the case. But the advantage of hobby income is that it's not subject to self-employment tax. So let's look down at business income. If you treat your income as business income, then it is reportable for income tax, but you can deduct your expenses from your income. And you'll notice also that it is reportable for self-employment tax. It is subject to self-employment tax. So a decision that you have to make is whether your income is from a hobby or whether it's from a business. And in a future video, we're going to talk about the hobby loss rules versus business rules and provide information so that you can better make that decision. The tax on taxable income from sole proprietorships and partnerships are paid by making estimated tax payments on a quarterly basis. You actually get a voucher from the Internal Revenue Service, or you can print one off the internet and send a check with that voucher, and that will pay both your income taxes and your self-employment taxes. So whether it be a hobby or a business, you still pay those taxes with an estimated tax voucher on a quarterly basis. If you don't pay on a quarterly basis, you're going to be penalized. Now, as I mentioned, the self-employment rate is 15.3%. So if you happen to have a business and after taking all your deductions and exemptions, you end up in a 20% tax bracket, you're actually paying a tax rate of 35.3%. And that is the combination of the income tax rate and the self-employment tax rate, which is a pretty heavy rate, so you need to be aware of that. Please be aware that it is possible to have income from a business and have that income reduced by itemized deductions and personal exemptions, so that on your tax return you have no taxable income and owe no income tax, but you still may owe self-employment tax because you had income from that business. So self-employment tax is not reduced by itemized deductions or exemptions or anything like that, so it's very possible to owe quite a bit of self-employment tax and still owe no income tax on your return. In conclusion, social media income is always going to be taxable for federal income tax purposes, and it may be taxable for self-employment tax purposes. So again, you need to make the decision as to whether you really have a hobby here or whether you have a business. And as I mentioned, that will be discussed in a future video. This is a new channel, so if you like this video, please like it, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to this channel, because we'll be talking about a lot of different tax matters that not only pertain to social media income, but to other income as well. Thank you very much for watching.